the law of attraction from Brian Tracy kicks in, and I started attracting people in my life that were out for something bigger other than just themselves.
This is awesome. It's so wonderful to have you here, and you got through you came from Canada, down from Vancouver?
Through Reno. Yeah.
Yeah, so he made it down? Yes. That is awesome. Well, this is super fun because I've been a fan of all the stuff that you've done over all the years, and then you wrote the book, which you just recently updated, and had a chance to go through that a few times and look at everything you're doing. One of the things that I know about you is that there's an interesting thing you have about the number 43. Would you share a little bit about that?
Well, when something I noticed is that everyone gets glasses at 43. I don't know if you've ever, a year before or after, and I think when people get glasses, they go, oh my God, I'm getting old. It's kind of the first revelation. And of course, 20, 30 years ago, a man would have gone out and bought a red Porsche, but I think what happens is that couples look at each other and their children are like 14, 13, 12. The children don't need the parents anymore. And I think the parents start to see, oh my God, we're going to be home. The kids are going to be off at university soon. Who are we together? And I think they think about, well, who am I married to? Is that the right person? Am I living in the right city? Do I have the right job? And I think there's this whole revelation that happens. I think people should change their name at the age of 43.
What would you change your name to?
Well, I think Chip's a pretty good one. I got that nailed.
Works all the way, right?
But you know what? What is that? I think it was one of those books, Freakonomics or something, I forget, where they said that how a name can really target, how old you are and what socioeconomic spectrum you're from. So I think at 43, it's the right time, especially as we start living to 120 now.
I love it. One of the things that you're very big on is personal development and goals, and I love that you put together kind of the best of some Brian Tracy things from the Psychology of Achievement and some of the things that you got from Landmark. And you were like, I like goals, but I don't like goals. And would you share a little bit about what kind of your philosophy is on that? Yeah,
sure. I mean, most people start goals I think go to the start or something. Anyway, a goal is achievable by
smart
goals. So I was going to say start. I knew that was
pretty much
word.
The same. Yeah, I like it.
But this part about achievable, I kind of came to the thought that maybe goals, you should fail at 50% of your goals as part of a training program to learn how to fail in life. But I think more for goals, I found that myself, when I first started them, I think I went small.
Okay.
And I went small because, well, let me give you an example. I was 242 pounds. I wanted to be 220 pounds. So I set a goal to be 220 pounds by December 31st, let's call it 2020. And then, but let's just say that I'd woken up in the hospital with amnesia, and I just decided, I want to get into better shape. I want to look at whatever I'm doing, and because I have no concept of what my weight was before, or what people think I should weigh, or what society thinks I should weigh, I might look up in a bunch of medical journals and then go, my optimum weight is 208 pounds. Mm-hmm. So what I really got from that is that I would say most people set goals that are based in the past, from past experiences that include a lot of failures, and not thinking big enough. So now I come at work every day, I come at life every day as though I'm going to compete against myself, or I'm going to reinvent myself every day as though I woke up in the hospital with amnesia.
That's awesome. How has your goal setting changed over the years? Because you've been doing this for since 18, 19, right?
Well, actually, I think as a competitive swimmer, it's automatically set in because you turn an age group from 12 to 13, so there's a record you have to beat, and there's an age. So a goal is quantifiable with a by-when date. So how have they changed over life? I think when I first started setting goals, it was all about me. And as I've grown older, and of course, life is nearly perfect for me in every way. So in order to stimulate myself, it has to be about other people winning.
Okay.
So,
But it seems like well, certainly during the time that you were with Lululemon, it was all about the winning, which was pretty cool. So it's been fairly constant then, it sounds like.
well, no, I'd say at that time of 43,
Okay.
it was like I moved from being about me to giving without expectation of return.
That is a good place to be.
It's a really tough bridge to go over when you haven't really got that much money.
Yeah.
And to think it's about everybody else before me. But I noticed by operating from that point, I started the law of attraction from Brian Tracy kicks in, and I started attracting people in my life that were out for something bigger other than just themselves.
Nice.
And it was all by mistake. I didn't do any of this on purpose.
You mentioned being a competitive swimmer, and you talk about the 100-meter backstroke.
Right.
Will you share that story and what your takeaway was from that?
Yeah, it's a neat story, and I wish more people had this opportunity. I was 10 years old, and I was swimming the 100-meter backstroke. I was a very mediocre swimmer, very mediocre. And so I'm about to go off the blocks, and my dad came up to me and said, just try to do something, like just go full out, like right from the very start. Because kind of the thing of the day was probably to look good, to try to go a little bit slower at the beginning, save yourself, come roaring into the end and hit the wall and look fantastic, right? So this is a kind of a change of thinking. So I did the race, went full out, and I dropped my time by 9 seconds. As a 10-year-old's almost unheard of, and I broke the Canadian record. So you can kind of see where my way of looking at life then started to become from almost a fear of not giving 100% right from the start. And then I kind of think I came to the point of I never want to be laying on my deathbed thinking I only gave it 98% and I failed, and God, if I just would have given it all, would I have made it?
I think that's such a great observation, because if you're giving, like at the end, you're giving the 100, but you still have energy, you're still going, then you've definitely shortchanged yourself.
Yeah.
And what's the difference if you gave it all at the beginning and got way, way ahead, right? And then didn't have an energy. Like it makes, to me, that just makes a whole lot of sense. It was really cool that your dad saw that. Now, you developed a lot of personal development stuff for the Lululemon team, and right. I think you still have it for some of the other ventures you're doing now. Could you tell us a little bit about that? It was like a combination of kind of all the best stuff that you're learning?
Yeah. There was a period in my life when I was 19 when I had the opportunity to read the top 100 books of all time. I was just working this kind of construction job. I had that opportunity. And then when I sold my snowboard company when I was 42 or something, I had kind of the same thing, a year in order to read. And it was the era when audio tapes just came out. So I listened to the top 100 business books of all time, or self-development books or whatever. And I came to probably the same conclusion as 90% of the people come to, and that is there's like 4 or 5 books that basically say it all about everything else. And it's Good to Great by Collins, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Covey, Psychology of Achievement by Brian Tracy. And then I'd say the course, the Landmark Form course was radical. And so what I recognize is that I could actually have my employees at Lululemon do all that in 2 weeks. And I noticed that after that 2 weeks of training, I could send them out to Baltimore to go open up a store, like a 23-year-old, right out of university, and they could like run it flawlessly.
Do you still have that? Do you still have people go through that system?
Yeah, I'm definitely at my new companies that I have, my real estate and my family home office, that type of thing. Yeah.
I love Hold It All. What a great name for your family office.
Well, my 9-year-old came up with that.
This is great. It's just awesome. So one of the things you talk about is linguistic adaptation, which I think is really, really cool as like a short, kind of a shorthand language. Would you share a little bit about that and how it works?
Yeah, as far as culture goes, I think that the term values is out now. Just like I think vision is out and the word purpose is in.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of values, I would say linguistic abstraction is the word. So it's kind of like you think about two surgeons working on a knee. Well, they can't afford to be giving you the definition of every little ligament and muscle and bone or way they operate, but they can say one word and it means a whole lot.